Now, I know I said I wasn't gonna buy Need for Speed, but in my defense, it was Black Friday, I ain't got no job, I ain't had shit to do, and Need for Speed was $30 off. Yo, what's going on, people? Today we're going to be taking a look at Need for Speed Payback, which launched on November 10th of 2017 for Xbox, PS4, and PC. Now, before I get into this review, I just want to say, if you plan on comparing this to the Need for Speeds of the golden era, which would be on PS2, you know, the Most Wanted, the Carbons, the Undergrounds, because I was a big fan of all those. If you compare this game to those, it will fail in every section. So, if you plan on buying this game, do not compare it to those, otherwise you will not enjoy it. I found myself doing this for the first quarter of the game. You just have to accept the game for what it is. It is an extremely cheesy and cringy arcade racer. If you can't accept that, don't buy this game. So, now that that's been said, let's get into the review. So I'm going to start with all the negatives and stuff I didn't like about this game, and then I'm going to end off on a positive note. So, what are the cons of this game? First of all, the story. You play as three characters, Tyler, Jess, and Mac. You're a small racing crew, and your friend Nina has set you up, and the crew has broken up. But Tyler wants to get his payback, so he gets the crew back together. You beat different crews all over the city in different events, such as drifting, races, off-road. Once you beat all the crews all over the city, you get into the Outlaws Rush, which is the big race at the end of the game. You take down the protagonist, and that is the story of Need for Speed Payback. Why is this a con? Does this not sound familiar to anyone? No, this is Need for Speed Carbon, minus the canyon runs. Second thing, the main characters. You have Mac, the black British guy who's supposed to be the funny one, Jess, the supposed to be badass girl, and Tyler, the egotistical, I'm the best racer in the city. I found all these characters extremely annoying. I got to a point where I just wanted to turn off the audio for their voices, and I would rather read the subtitles instead. No one talks about themselves this much in third person. The voice acting was bad, and like I said, it's pretty cheesy and extremely cringy at times.
Hey, visitor center. I'm a visitor, and I am not going to your center. Ha! Take that.
I wanted to skip all of these cutscenes, but you have to wait a certain amount of seconds, and by then the cutscene was over, so you don't really have a choice but to suffer through some of these cutscenes.
Rav.
Races are here. I saw them take that car. Thank you, officer.
What have you done?
Didn't Rev tell you what's under that hood? My buyers are paying a fortune for it.
You'll never get away with this, Navarro!
Cops are on their way. The house sends their regards.
Hey, what happened here?
Navarro. Mac, get him help. I'll draw the cops.
But
go!
When it comes to the actual gameplay, the first question on your mind is, well, how's the driving? And seeing as it's on the cons list, well, it's probably not going to be good. The driving is iffy at times. Sometimes it handles good, other times it's just like your car doesn't want to turn. It's pretty inconsistent. And it actually pisses me off, because I play a lot of racing games, I can tell when a car is under steering, but it's like, okay, I'm not going that fast, why don't you want to turn? You can actually adjust how the car handles on the fly. There are 5 different types of racing events, so there's 5 different types of cars. They all have different settings, but for now we're going to look at the racing cars. There's stability control. This is where you can tap brakes to start drifting. You can turn this on, so instead you have to use the handbrakes. You can change the downforce so the car grips more, and then there's steering sensitivity, but I found even at the highest setting, it still wasn't responsive enough for me. And that not turning thing becomes the biggest problem when you actually have to do drag races. I don't mean just a straight line drag race. They actually have you doing circuits in a drag car. The drag cars don't turn, so I don't even know why they thought that was a good idea. So the iffy handling model, along with they require you to do certain races where the cars aren't responsive enough in turning, such as the off-road and drag races, it's pretty annoying. But speaking of races, let's get into the next major issue. The fucking rubber banding in this game is ridiculous. It does not matter how well you drive. If you fuck up, the computer will be right back on your ass as soon as you respawn, and I'll get into that next. I could understand in the beginning of the game, maybe you don't want the computer to get too far ahead, but from, I don't know, I say midway throughout the game, turn the rubber banding off. So if I go in a race and my car isn't fast enough and the computer beats me, fine, I'm gonna go quit the race and go upgrade my car and come back. But The mere fact that I can fuck up at the start of a race, the computer can get so far ahead and be like, it doesn't matter, I can still end up winning this race, is ridiculous. It's like, why am I even playing this? It's like having fucking training wheels on. Rubber banding does not need to be in racing games. The next issue is the crash cams. This also doesn't need to be a thing. I don't want to see my car being destroyed in super slow motion. Leave that for the Burnout series. However, you can turn off the crash cams, but it doesn't help because instead your car is just going to hit a wall, stop, you'll see a blank screen, and then it's going to respawn you on the road driving a certain speed, and then you can just speed up from there. This is an issue because not only is it annoying, but in races they tend to overdo it. You hit walls or you hit an object or your car slow down for whatever reason. You don't even hit that hard and say, okay, I can drive away. And as soon as you start to drive away, you see that black screen and then the game respawns you. Now that's bad, but what makes it even worse is sometimes the game would get stuck putting you in a respawn loop. Like it would respawn you right before a jump. You'll make the jump. Because you aren't going fast enough, you won't make it. You'll fall in the canyon. Guess what? It's going to respawn you back before the jump, and it's going to keep happening over and over until, I don't know, you just respawn and hit brakes or turn off or whatever. It's annoying. And to make matters worse, let's carry it a bit further. When you're free roaming, the crash cam goes the opposite direction. It doesn't work. So this is a police chase I was in. They pinned me onto the wall. I can't drive. It's like, okay, crash cam now would be a perfect time to kick in because my car's stuck. Crash cam is like, nah, I'd rather not, and I get busted. So this clearly needs to be worked on. Next up are two minor cons. Firstly, going to be the control scheme. In every other video game, well, this is if you drive in manual. If you drive in automatic, this doesn't apply to you. But if you drive in manual, every other game is triangle to gear up, or if you're on Xbox, I don't know what key's up top, but it's a key up top. And to gear down is square and circle is handbrake. They decided to switch this for whatever reason. So triangle is gear up, circle is gear down, and square is handbrake. So because I'm accustomed driving in manual for years on other games, this is the common setup. They changed it, and I just found it pretty annoying. I just had to go and change the button mappings in the actual PS4 menu because you can change that. If you can't change that on your console, well, I don't know, sucks to be you, I guess. Next up is going to be the music. This is a problem because I know I said at the beginning don't compare this to other Need for Speeds, but I'm going to compare it in this one exception. A lot of people don't talk about music in their reviews. I don't know why, because game music is very important, but they really dropped the ball in this one. Need for Speed, not even Need for Speed, free roam games in general. If I'm going to be spending a lot of hours in your games, the type of music you have is very important because, I'm going to be spending a lot of hours here. So it's best to have popular songs or a lot of songs that people know. And this was a case with the Golden Era Need for Speeds. They all had popular hip-hop songs or some rock songs in between, different genres, that stuff everyone knew. I ended up turning off the audio for this game about 4 hours in because not only does it seem like there's only 12 songs in this game, there are 12 songs that don't really suit the game. So yeah, I was pretty much playing this entire game with the music audio off because the music doesn't suit it and I didn't know any of the songs and it didn't sound good. Now I'm going to cover the last two biggest problems that Need for Speed Payback has. Yes, I know we're 8 minutes in and all of you've been hearing our cons, probably thinking what's the fucking point of playing this game, but I'll get there. So first of all, we're going to cover speed cards. This is an issue. Why? Well, first of all, speed cards don't belong in a racing game. I understand maybe they wanted to try something new, but certain things you probably shouldn't change. This was one of them. So instead of doing your usual in a racing game, you would go to the mechanic and buy a turbo and buy parts. They replace these with cards. In order to upgrade your car, you either have to win a race and you'll see 3 cards, you pick one, these are randomly generated, or you go to a tune-up shop and you can purchase higher level cards for your car until it hits its max level. This is a problem because, okay, going through the main storyline is fine, you need to upgrade your car, you get certain parts, fine. This is a problem because at the end of the game, if you want to go and buy a new car, you can't just jump straight to level 18 cards. Level 18 is the highest card you can buy. You have to go through and either race or sit in the tune-up shop, wait for it to restock, and then go buy new cards. Do a race in between, come back when it's restocked and buy new cards. It feels like grinding. This is not the kind of grinding I would look for in a racing game. The only grinding should be getting money to get parts. I don't want to get money and then have to sit and wait every 10 minutes until there are new cards in the store that I can go and buy and upgrade my car. This is the reason I haven't bought a lot of cars. This actually slows down the gameplay a lot, because it's not like, okay, I got beaten in an online race, I want to go and try a different car. You can't just go and dip in a single player quick, buy a car, max it out, and then go back online. No, you have to go in single player, grind out for about 45 minutes to an hour to max out your car. It's pretty annoying. That should not be a thing. Speed cards not belong in a game. You tried it, it didn't work. Please, for the love of God, don't ever put speed cards in a racing game again. And that's actually the last issue, would be the multiplayer. So the rubber banding is also online. So yeah, that's an issue. 1. 2, car stats don't matter. Because you can come in, I don't know, let's say you have a Sylvia, you can pretty much beat someone in an Aston Martin Vulcan. You can come from the back, you can still beat them. Makes no sense to me. Car stats don't matter online. I think they should have put in car tiers, and yeah, my friend was like, okay, then certain cars would be obsolete. But you can do like Drive Club, like you can actually vote for what race you want next. When you're voting for the race, you should have like the car tiers. So there are supercars, sports cars, the hatchbacks, and then your off-roads. So you vote for the type of race you want, and that type of race would have the type of car up top. I think that would be that would be a solution to that problem. Third problem with online is that there's no free roam. Although I did see an article saying free roam will be coming soon, I still think the game should have launched with it, but I'm not going to be too harsh on that because they're going to add it in. Problem number 4 is actually the people. There are a bunch of asshole drivers online, and what makes it worse is that the cars just turn into paper weights when you're online for some reason. So you would get hit and your car would just go on the other side of the road. Like, it has no weight to them. So you can spin people out extremely easy. You can hit them off the side of mountains, you can throw them into buildings or trees or objects to slow them down. At the front of the races, people will brake check you, so you move off and they'll be holding on the brakes. You run in the back of them and then they'll start to move off. I definitely think non-contact needs to be a thing. And that is about all the problems wrong with Need for Speed Payback. I'm actually kind of tired. So, let's get into these positives. What did they actually get right? There's a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of races, a lot of events, a lot of collectibles. You can go and try to find their car parts. You can put together derelict cars. Shit ton of events. So if you look at this map, look at all these icons and activities. There's a lot of stuff to keep you busy. And another thing that I actually like is that when you beat the game, you can actually do over races. You get the same amount of money. Certain Need for Speeds in the past, once you beat a race, it would only give you like $500. So yeah, this is really great that they decided to give you the same amount of money once you beat a race, so you can continuously keep grinding for more speed cards. The third thing would actually be the map size. The map is a lot bigger than Need for Speed 2015, and the map actually has like different feels to it. So you can actually go down in the hills, the desert has its feel to it, all the dust starts to pick up on your car. You could go down in the city, it's kind of dark and gloomy, and then the rain falls. Up in the right is like driving out in the canyon. So I really like that the map has different feels to it, and it is pretty big, so they got that done right. The next thing would actually be the customization. There's not a huge amount of customization, but it was actually pretty satisfactory. There's a lot more than 2015. One thing they did that I actually liked was they would give certain cars bumpers from the previous version of that car. So for example, here's the Evo 9. This is one of my favorite cars. There's no Evo 8 in the game, but you can actually put on a bumper that would make your car look like an Evo 8. And there's also a bumper for the Evo 9, or you can keep it stock. So yeah, customization was pretty satisfactory overall, so I like that. A lot of stuff you can change, the headlights, rear lights, a lot more spoilers, even the rims. There's a pretty good selection of rims, so overall I was pretty satisfied with the customization. Another thing I liked was actually the police aggression. The police is kind of bittersweet for me, because the last Need for Speed, the police were they were lazy, non-existent. You could lose them pretty quickly, even in the beta. But in this one, the police are extremely aggressive. It's like I was actually starting to get the police feel from Need for Speed Most Wanted, the one from 2005. They're that aggressive. But the bitter part comes from the police. They're police events. So it's not like you can just go around in free mode, get a police chase, and just take them all over the map. No, they're events, and you have to like go through a time trial and get to the escape point at a certain time. It's not that bad. Like I said, I like the police aggression, but I would have liked that they actually put this in free roam. So I don't know, maybe they would add that in, but the police are definitely better. Another thing I liked is actually how they told the story through phone calls. So yes, you have the cheesy cutscenes, etc. But when you're actually racing certain members of the crews that you have to beat, they would call you, and this would reveal story through basically a phone call.
Hey man, do you think you could at least try to find a place with less people in the way?
They'll either get out of the way or they won't.
There are easier ways to bet your life.
Oh, Tyler Morgan. You will not last long. My name is Mitko Vasilev. You're going to prove yourself before you race Diamond Block again. A time trial then. Succeed or don't. I cannot.
Some characters were nice. Not every character was an asshole towards you, although most were. But I actually liked how they did this. This was a lot better than the cutscenes, etc. So I wish they did. I wish they took that route instead of having a ton of cutscenes. And the last thing that I like, this is probably the biggest pro on here, is that the game is still being supported. Since launch, this game has got about, I think, either 3 or 4 patches, and they're constantly adding in new stuff. The last update, they added in some new events, and they actually gave away the RX-7. It was, I think it was a timed event that you had to find out how you find the derelict parts. I wish they just added it in as a car list, because, you know, not everyone's going to be playing the game at a certain time. So I didn't get the RX-7, my friend has it. I just wish they added it into the car list, but who knows, maybe they'll bring it back. But yeah, the game is still being supported. They're still adding in stuff. They're still fixing a lot of things. So a lot of those cons that I listed, maybe in the future will not be there anymore. Maybe they'll get adjusted and the rubber banding would get rebalanced. But yeah, they're still working on the game, which I like. So that has been my review of Need for Speed Payback. Overall thoughts. The game took like 1 step forward and 2 steps back, because, you know, they improved on the map. There's a day and night cycle. They added in manual from the start. They upped the customization, but they took a step back in terms of how badly the multiplayer is and the speed cards. And yeah, those are the 2 major issues. I understand the cash grabs, they're annoying and stuff like that. Cringy story, you can't fix that. They could come back and drop a patch to fix the handling model, but to me the 2 biggest letdowns were that speed cards and how the online is. That's the reason that I don't currently play the game. The online is pretty annoying, and I can't just go by and customize cards as I like, because I have to go and grind out speed cards. So that's the reason I don't play this game anymore. So hopefully in the future they would get fixed. So, can I recommend this game for $60? No. There's a ton of content, but quality over quantity. So after all the stuff I listed, if you still want this game, I would recommend that you wait for it to go on sale. And yeah, that's been the end of this video. If you found this helpful, you could leave a like and share it around. And if you currently own Need for Speed, what are your thoughts on it? You can leave them down in the comment section down below, because I know people are going to disagree with some of the shit that I said. I'm open to debate, so you can comment down below and subscribe for more reviews. There are other reviews up on my channel. You can check that link out up there, but that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching.